Hey Raz, hey Chris, how you guys doing? Yeah, it's one of those days too. I'm tired of myself for some reason. I think it's just been a busy week. Yeah, that'll do it. We got something going on? That's why you're up all night? Oh, that'll do it. Damn, sorry to hear that, bro. Hopefully it all works out. Hey, Jaden, how's it going? The old size magnets. I have magnets that are kind of close to what I was using. So they went by millimeter, so you need a millimeter ruler. So if I'm not mistaken, do I have a head base here? I think I do. Here it is. So this is the one of my old head bases I still got. So if I'm not mistaken, it might have been one of these. I ordered new ones recently, but they should be sort of the same thing. A little bit smaller than this. So these are about 8mm. So you can get yourself 5mm ones wide. Yeah, so probably 5mm might be what you need. Let's see, so these here are smaller. I mean, it could be a little smaller. As long as you get it glued in correctly, you'd be fine. You know, even sometimes just a piece of metal would work. This is a smaller one. That's a little bit smaller than normal. So these right here are, yeah, these are 6mm. So you need anything between 6 and 7mm wide, and then like 2mm thick. Yeah, I mean the other thing too is you could always widen up your circle, and you can use a bigger magnet too. The goal is you want to make sure it stays in here. You don't want to put it in and then have it rip out. That's the only problem. So I don't know if you guys have been following some statues lately. I'll actually post a picture. Hummingbird Studios making a Bayonetta statue, and it's a holy grail for me. So I'm going to post a picture. I cannot, it's going to be until late next year it comes out, but I cannot wait for this thing. Find the pictures. Picture, image. I can't wait for this item to come out. That's like a holy grail for me. I have been waiting for a company to make her in her first game in a 1/4 scale statue for ages. I can't. I already ordered. I actually ordered two. There's an EX and a regular. So I got the regular through somebody, and the EX comes with a nude body, but I don't really care for the nude body, so I'm going to customize it. It's a Bayonetta. So that's the first game version of her. Then there was a second version of her with short hair, and there's a third one coming out. I love the first game, so I cannot wait for this statue. It's not coming out to quarter of next year, quarter 4, so it's probably like November, December next year. But I cannot wait. I was gonna order a couple different items this year, you know, statues and comics and stuff, but when I saw that, I said, screw it, I'm getting it, I don't care. So she's about, so their dimensions, she's about like 20 inches tall and about 15 inches wide or so. So it's like the perfect scale for my display room. She's not like 1/3 scale, but she's not like this scale. So she's like that perfect scale I want. Can't wait for it. I think they're only making 300 of them. Yeah, I would have bought I would have gotten like one of the 3D, you know, prints, but when I saw this one, I love it. It's like the perfect pose. And I like the first game the best. I didn't play the second one, and I don't even have a console for the third, but the first game was just one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, she's kind of not in my budget either, but I'll, since I got a long time to go, I'll sell off a couple items. I still got a lot of items to sell off, so as long as I'm not missing mortgage payments, I'm alright. Yeah, once I get my display room finished, once I get everything set up, I'm gonna have a nice video on it. I got a couple statues I got in that I can't even display because my room is not set up. I have to redo the display room. I have to take all my pictures down. I gotta patch the walls, and I gotta really set it up. So I'm hoping by December it should be done if all goes well. Yeah, I'll definitely do a video on it. I don't have a collection where it's like teams and like, you know, I just buy what I like. I don't care about scale or size. If I like it and I want it, I buy it. But hopefully once the room is done, I'll be pretty happy with the way, you know, everything's set up. Basically, my goal is I want grails. I just want my favorite characters, hopefully in 1/4 scale, and that is it. I don't care if it's from DC, Marvel, or video games and they're not uniform. I just want my favorite stuff. That's it. I'm not knocking people that like to make teams and setups. I mean, you get what you want, but for me, I want, you know, my favorite characters, and that's it. Nothing else. Alright, so we're gonna have to clean this up a bit. I still gotta make a couple of my Grail characters too. I have the statues for them. I just gotta find the time to make them. I got favorite characters from different stuff, so I love Power Girl from DC, Impulse, and those are like my two favorites from DC. From Marvel, I love X-Man Nate Gray, which I do have the kit of him. I'm just waiting to get the custom head done. And then like video games, I love Bayonetta. And from like Street Fighter, Rose, Dan, what else? And then also from Marvel, I like Sage from X-Men, when she was an Extreme X-Men character. And I like the Flash family, you know, like Jake Garrick, Max Mercury, all those characters. I love characters that are from like alternate realities in Marvel Comics and DC that are not from the main universe. It's kind of like what I like about those characters. I don't know if you guys ever played the game called Discworld with Terry Pratchett's Discworld. So I love the games, and I would love to get like a little statue of the wizard. I forget his name in the game. It's been so long since I played it. I also worked on my Hyperion this week. I did a little bit more work. I'll show him later. Working on trying to get him done. Got so much to do. Hey, what's up, Raphael? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Miss Marvel came out pretty good. I'm happy with that one. And then the 7 of 9 worked out pretty good too. Even though it's an old sculpt and you know there's only so much you can do with it, it actually worked out. So. I mean, that Miss Marvel's the best outfit ever. I mean, I don't understand why Marvel got rid of it, but they did. But the 7 or 9's kind of interesting. I didn't realize there was a lot of popularity to her. I guess what it is, you know, they don't really make a lot of statues of Star Trek as much as they used to, so I didn't really think it was that popular. Now that the Miss Marvel side project's done, I gotta sort of get on to another side project. Gotta figure out which item I'm gonna pull out and start working on. Even though I got some anime kits I'm starting, I gotta still get something larger. I got lots of stuff in mind. It just depends on which I think I can sort of squeeze in. This next week I gotta start painting up the Killer Croc that I'm working on for someone. But I'm going to be pulling out a bunch of kits and start building kits too next week. So for the next month we'll probably have a couple kits get done. And then I'll get back onto some customs. I just like to have side stuff for filler. And we're gonna probably start up the Harley Quinn too in another 2 weeks. Yeah, I showed it on stream. I'll show you now. It's I'm not pulling him out, but it's a Darth Croc. It's like a Sith Lord crocodile. So what happened was the client sent me sabers that somebody else made, which did a good job on them. He sent me these as lightsabers, but the problem is they're too small for his hand. But the guy did a good job on it, but they were just too small. So after talking with the client and stuff, I made my own lightsaber. So this is what I came up with for my own lightsaber. So it's a brass rod with other A's and resculpt, and then this piece goes into this like so. So it's pretty much my own little lightsaber design. These two little prongs here will glue into his hand. So this is removable, but this is going to be locked into his hand. So pretty happy with it. I mean, the good thing, it was like, he's like, well, the Croc has no specific lightsaber, so I could do whatever I want. So that's kind of what I came up with. He wanted it to be the saber to be removable. I mean, but the problem is his hand's clenched. so I couldn't really make that removable. So that was the only downside. I think next year I'm gonna do a custom Star Wars character too on the side. Kind of thinking about trying my hand on something like that. But we'll see. Lots of shit to do. Oh, Raphael, yeah, I'm not watching any of Phase 5 Marvel. I have no interest in any of the characters. So I didn't even bother watching it. It's just, nothing really interests me. Like, She-Hulk, I sort of read her when I was younger, but wasn't really into the character. And then all the other movies they're making for 5 is all modern comic stuff that I have no interest in. So I'm pretty much skipping all of Phase 5. Hey, what's up, Iceman? You know what it is too, Raphael? It's, you know, I grew up on comic books, and I've always wanted what I've read in comic books to be on the big screen. So, knowing She-Hulk's origin, that Bruce Banner gave his blood transfusion to her, she became She-Hulk. Like, I don't understand why they changed that, you know? I mean, he's the Hulk. How does he get banged up in a car crash? Because I saw, like, one of the spoiler videos. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it's just being a comic book fan. I want them to stay true to the comic. That's just me. So, whenever they change this stuff up for the movies, it ruins it for me. You know, it's not that I'm a hater. It's not that I, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just want what I read on the screen. That's it. Like, literally, if they took a couple issues of a story from like Peter David, Jeff Johns, or whatever, and they made that a movie, I would be all crazy and about it. I would be like, that is the way I always wanted to see it on the screen. But to do all this other what if stuff and change it because it's a movie, and then they always change the outfits, I don't know. Yeah, I like, you know, like Winter Soldier, he was a badass in the comics, but in the movies he's a comedian. Thor, he's a joke now. So I don't know. That's just me. Yeah, you know, I think they, you know, it's all this political crap too, you know. Just make the movie. I think they try to make a movie and TV show for everybody. You can't make it for everybody. It doesn't work. You know, you make a genre, like a comedy movie for people who like comedy. You make a drama for people who like drama. When you try to inject action and comedy and drama, it just becomes a cluster. That's just me. Like John Wick. I like John Wick because he's there, he's popping heads with guns nonstop, and that's the movie. That's it. That's all I need. When I want to watch a love story movie, I'll watch a love story. You know, you don't need to inject it all. And I think that's what Marvel's trying to do. They're trying to be like, well, we're going to cater to everybody, so we're going to throw this in there, and we're going to throw that in there, all jammed into one little... You don't need to. Like, if they made a Punisher TV show, it should be like John Wick, where he's just going after, like, criminals, and that's it. You're done. That's all you need to do. And, you know, people would just watch it nonstop. That's just how I see it, you know? It's just... Yeah, Iceman, I've been watching Discovery, what they're doing. Believe it or not, Discovery is going about it correctly, at least I feel they are, because they're cleaning house, and instead of just releasing junk over and over and over, and it's just not selling, they're going to start doing quality, you know? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I started watching the Flash series when it came out for Warner Brothers. And after the first season, I stopped watching. I couldn't stand the Flash show anymore. Being a huge Flash fan, you know, like the family, I couldn't stand what they were doing with the show. So I stopped watching. And then I didn't even bother with Supergirl. I didn't bother with all this other stuff because it was just so... I don't know, it's just crap to me. I would rather them make less stuff, but something I would watch over and over and over. Like all the Thor movies and the Avengers movies, I've watched once and I've never seen them again. But if you go back to the 90s, like, I like comedy. So like a Jim Carrey movie, a Chris Farley movie, Eddie Murphy, I could watch that stuff over and over and over and over. But I don't even remember, like, the Thor movies. So if they make 1 or 2 movies and they start making a good quality, you know, and they take the DC stuff and they really broaden DC up like they did with Marvel, I'm all for it. I mean, hell, DC is bringing back Jeff Johns to write the JSA. I mean, I loved him writing the JSA. I'm actually buying comic books again, which is funny. I'm also buying the Peter David Captain Marvel run. You know, the first issue of Captain Marvel with Peter David for Genesis Vale, it's like he never, like, missed a beat. He's like continuing from when he was writing it back in the day, and it's absolutely amazing so far. And that was only 1 issue. So when I heard that Jeff Johns was writing the JSA, I went online and I ordered the comics. I mean, I haven't ordered a comic since 2009. I stopped reading comics when House of M came out. So And the reason why I'll give Jeff Johns a chance on JSA is because he's been writing this stuff for ages, so he knows the characters. Yeah, so I'm just, I saw Top Gun, and this, the new one that came out, and it felt like I was in the 90s watching a movie again. It was great. You know what it was? It was just Top Gun. It was about a pilot in the Air Force, doing what he needs to do, and that was it. There wasn't all this other junk thrown into it. And the movie's making money hand over fist. And I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, to tell you the truth. I really don't like Tom Cruise, but the movie was fun. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed Top Gun. It was pretty good. It felt like I was back in the 90s, going to a movie theater, and just, I didn't watch it in the movies. I don't go to the movies anymore, but it was good to watch. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? So if they do more stuff like that, just a good old-fashioned action movie with no other bullshit thrown into it, I'm all for it. So after everything was announced, the only thing I'm excited for is John Wick 4, and that's probably about it. That would be kind of cool if he does something with the Legion. I've always liked his his artwork. I've always liked, his stories, all that stuff, so. Anything to bring me back in the day when stuff was good. Yeah, they're already doing a 5. I can imagine they would. Like I said, I love John Wick. The first one was amazing. The second one and third one were but that's John Wick. That's just takes the gun, he's on a mission, and that is it. There's nothing else to it, and it works. Because I heard they're taking this, what is it, the Black Adam movie, and they're going to use the Black Adam as like the Kickstarter for the DC universe now, and I think that's why they're getting rid of all the other movies. I think they don't really want to, they want to uniform everything. So the rumor is that Black Adam is going to be the Thanos of the DCU going forward. So they can build it up where he's like the Thanos, and then they can probably maybe end it with like going against Darkseid or something, which is fine. They got to start from somewhere, so I guess they're going to use that as a starting point. And I guess, what is it, Henry Cavill, is that how you say his name, is going to come back as Superman? I thought he was a fine Superman. I think he worked, perfectly for it. I don't know what's going on with the Flash. I mean, the last I heard, they were axing the movie, but now I think they have to release it. But maybe they're going to go back and reshoot some scenes to fix it. Only because the actors kind of went crazy. You know, my philosophy is you have Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. That's the big three. Why are you not utilizing those characters in the comics and in the movies and shows? Like, why are they pushing all this other stuff to take over? You know, it doesn't make sense. I don't know, at this point I think DC was such a mess, they're gonna fine tune it. And everyone's saying it's like, oh, you know, they're racist, they're this, they're that. And no, they're going to fine tune it and uniform it, which has to be done. It's a mess. You know what it is they messed it up by adding like, okay, we're gonna give you a TV show, we're gonna give you a TV show, and make whatever you want. But then everyone's like, well, why is this person doesn't know this person? So they started adding the multiverse. And if you're not a comic book fan and you've never read the Crisis and the Multiverse, you know, Crisis on Infinite Earths, a lot of people out there don't know what the hell's going on. Like, I have to explain to my cousin and my friend all the time of what Flash is this, what Flash is that, what character is this. You know, so they need to uniform it all and then introduce it. I don't know, they got a lot of work ahead of them, so it's not going to happen overnight. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone in chat here, if they were to take a Kingdom Come Superman and Flash from the 616 universe, I think everybody in chat would probably understand who they are. But when you have people who never grew up reading this stuff, they don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, that's the problem. CW was just, oh, it was such a mess. Like, when Smallville was out, after season 2, I gave up on Smallville. I gave up on Flash. I watched Gotham. I thought Gotham was really good when that first came out, but they introduced the Kid Bruce Wayne, and the Kid Bruce Wayne was crying every episode, so I stopped watching that show. I liked the whole Gotham because it was like the underground mafia, and it was amazing. But then they started going off book for some reason. My cousin calls me a quitter because I don't stick with these shows, but I tell him, like, why am I going to stick with a show that's just crap? Yeah, I see that, Raccoon, but my philosophy is you have a lot of parents our age, you know, like we're parents like our age. If we want to go buy comic books, we would bring our kids to the comic book show and introduce them. Like my one friend, he has two girls. One's going to be 2 years old or a year old, and the other one's like 4 now or something. And they like comic books because he has comic books all over his house, so they're growing up with the comics. And I think these are what these companies are forgetting. It was different for us when we were younger because there wasn't the internet. Like, we just had, you know, 7-Elevens or, you know, mom and pop stores where we would see a comic book on the shelf and that was our entertainment. But these days, I think, you know, because if parents are going to the comic book store and they bring their kids get introduced to it. That's just how I see it. I think they were thinking wrong. Even like my godchild, she loves Wonder Woman now. You know, she loves Wonder Woman and stuff. First she liked Elsa from Frozen, then as she got a little older, she started liking a Wonder Woman. So that just goes to show you, as they get older, they start liking that stuff. Yeah, Raz, we had it different, you know. I mean, we had the G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers. Now it's just so much out there. Yeah, Pokemon cards and manga, that's where it's at now. Because that stuff is fun, you know? It's entertaining. Like, I love Naruto. I absolutely love Naruto. I've watched Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Like, I reread the manga like 5 times, and I've watched the shows over and over. It's just so much fun. I started watching Spy Family. That's kind of funny. I finished One Punch Man. But Spy Family is kind of funny. I kind of been enjoying. I think I'm on episode 3 of Spy Family. One Punch Man was a riot. I actually enjoyed that. Alright, so I think I'm going to do a dark green belt and dark gloves and boot. Darker than that green. Maybe like a mixture of these two. I kind of gave up on TV shows, and the only thing I watched was The Orville, which was absolutely amazing. I love The Orville now. And I know Archer's coming out with a new season, and I love Archer. And I can't wait for them to finish up Venture Brothers. They're supposed to come out with the movie of Venture Brothers. I cannot wait for that. See if this stays cool for a bit. Okay, I think that might look alright. Now, our outfit has got some of that satin finish like leather, so I think with the gloves and boots, I might dull them down, make them flat, just to try something different on it. Just kind of have fun. Try to make her darker than brighter neon. So what I'll do is do a coat of matte varnish wherever it is. Where is it? Satin. There it is. I gotta clean my airbrushes anyway, so usually I try not to use the varnish on this brush because it clogs sometimes, but I think we're good for now. Damn, it's still too hot out. What compressor are you going for? That's good. Yeah, they have the Silent Air, and then they have those other Silent Company ones. Is that the one you're talking about? Is it the one with like the silver dome, alien-looking compressor? I don't know, what do you guys think? You like the different color greens? I kind of do. I figure before I unmask it all. Yeah, 'cause this is more of a brighter green. This is kind of a bluer green. I could always change it later. But I like it. It's kind of different. I think I'm going to do a green tint in the hair too, like a green pearl to make it shiny. So I think that'll make the hair pop a little bit too as well. Yeah, I think that works. I gotta hit a little bit underneath there. I missed the little spots. I'm gonna see if I could do a dark green metal for the belt buckle. I'll do that later. I think we'll try and mask off the hair and also her foot and get that done. And I guess I'll do touch-ups and finish it off in the video because we're kind of like at the end. And the base, I'm just gonna paint a black base, I guess, maybe, or do a marble or something. I'm not sure yet. Keep it simple, just something to mess around with. Alright, let's just give that about 10 minutes and then we'll start masking that off. Show you what else I'm working on. Alright, so the trick or treat kit, I pulled it out of the I was in the garage working on some other stuff, and I was also working on this kit. So I got this pretty much ready. I'm gonna try to finish up the part here for her left foot. And then I think once that's done, I can sort of grind around the circle area a bit, or maybe keep it flat and then do the clear resin as I do it. Basically, I need to do this part up here for this foot. So it's, you know how like some of those pools have that part that goes around up top, the piece. So I'm gonna do that up there. Yeah, I gotta figure out if I should curve it. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll try to see if I can curve it like this. Like, you know, try to go into my grinder and kind of curve it around there, curve it around here. See if that kind of works. I don't know if I'll be able to. Hold on. No, I gotta curve it to here, so I might have to curve it this way to this point here. Or I could keep it straight. If I could build a wall straight, I might do that. I have to figure this out. I'm trying to plan that out. Alright, so on to this kit. While I was working on some other stuff, I was trying to figure out how to do this. Actually, I gotta find a picture of it so I can show you guys. I had the picture the other day. I'll have to find a picture later. I don't know where I do with it. Whatever. Anyway. So, this is what I'm doing with mine, Raccoon. I didn't like the piece that was holding up the chair. It was kind of really crappy. So I cut a metal rod. And then I cut these metal pieces here. So it looks like it could go up and down. So I also cut this up a little wider. So I'm going to put a metal rod like that, and then I put that piece through there. So this way it'll hold it. So you see how that metal rod comes underneath here? So I'm going to glue that in there, and then I'll fill all this up with A's. So this way I don't ever have to worry about that piece snapping. So that's kind of what I'm doing for my chair. So it was a little tricky of figuring out how to get these rods to work, but once I get that set up, I don't have to worry about this falling over. So I decided just to chop this piece out completely. So I'm kind of at a point now where I was trying to figure out what to do. So if you put her leg on, which is that's that one. Yeah, so this leg goes here like so. And there. So I think I might have to sort of like paint her first, get her pieced together, and then attach the chair together. Because the problem is trying to line this up, you know, trying to line that up even. I don't know, maybe I might be able to get away with it now. I don't know, it's kind of tricky. So you can see how it goes, you know. So what I'm going to do is, right now, to make my life easier, is I'm going to put a dab of glue in this one, squeeze that on, put a dab of glue on this one, squeeze that on, and then put some glue in there and squeeze this one on. So these will lock into place. And then I notched up this piece up in here, so when this glues underneath into here, or resin or A's or whatever, it won't twist. So having a little couple notches will help from this turning. And then what I think I'm going to do is when I do the part down here is I'm going to use a little bit of a saw. I'm going to kind of like saw through there, so this way when this is in there, that won't twist either. So that's kind of what I came up with for that, because I'm just, the way this resin was holding up that whole body scared the shit out of me. And I'm afraid that it might break. So that's kind of what you might, if you do yours, I would be concerned about this rod piece here, because that little piece holding up this whole item, if you grab her the wrong way, I think that thing would snap on you. Wipe down the glue. Yeah, I think that's better. And I can just kind of wipe this out at the bottom. Even though it squeezed out the glue at the bottom, it just kind of... I'm going to buff this out probably too. I'll probably like sand this back down again, buff it out a bit. I figure while I'm building up my other kits, I could kind of build this one up too a bit, here and there. I can work on that one. So that glue will lock all this in place and it won't twist. So let's make sure. This piece is already broken. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go in the garage and I'll use one of my grinding Dremel tools, and I have about, let's see, once this is in there you won't see it. So where is mine? Here it is. Yeah, so I have about this much area. So if I just kind of notch a piece here and I notch a piece here, so this way when I put this in here and then I put some A's, it'll stop it from twisting. So I think I'm gonna have to paint her in some pieces. Normally I don't like to do that, but with this one I think I will. And you just have to get this leg on here and then get this lined up correctly on here with the foot. without breaking everything. Now, as far as the casting though, I kind of was looking over it after I cleaned it, because I gave it a alcohol bath to get any residue off of it, because it was like fairly clean. And actually, I don't know if your kit's good, but I haven't seen any flashing issues. Like, it's kind of like a fairly good clean kit. You know, kind of looking over some areas, I'm not really seeing any problems really. I mean, I gotta just sand a little bit from like where they used it, the cast. I haven't completely sanded it all down yet. And like even the bottom of the shoes are actually pretty good. That's a nice detail there. I mean, the only problem I had with mine was it was broken here. Like I said, there is a little casting issue underneath her arm. It's probably kind of hard to see. And there's a little spot right here. Another little spot here. So they must have did this for like air bubbles underneath here and here. And you lose a little detail up here. Yeah, there's some, this is where they were pouring the mold. So up here I gotta kind of clean this up. But actually, that spot is hidden by the hair. She comes with two faces too. I didn't even realize that. One face is for eye decals or painting it, and the other one has actually eyes sculpted in. Yeah, so a lot of that can be hidden, which is actually a good plan. You know, that's a good way they did that. So that's kind of like the face. I took the horns off too. I didn't want her horns. So I got to do a little bit of cleaning up there since the horns are gone. All in all, it's going to be a fun kit. So I'll keep plugging away on it. What I'm thinking of doing is, when I'm ready to start working on her a little bit more, I might do some late night streams. Maybe like, you know, do work during the day, take a break, go for a bike ride, eat like some dinner or something, and then come back and do a stream of painting. So that's kind of where I'm at with her. But we're gonna work on this one once I get Shego going. Oh, and I also got my signed book back. When I went to the New Jersey show, there was a guy that had this book in a box of CGCs, cheap. It was like a little over $100. It was the first appearance of Power Girl, but it had the old CVCS like casing, which was kind of floppy. So I sent it in to get recased, and they gave me the new one. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's signed by Jerry Conway, right? Jerry? I can't see. Yep, Jerry Conway, so pretty happy with that one. So as you can see, I got my little over there next to me. Alright, so we're going to do some tedious masking, and then should be pretty much almost done. We only got 7 votes now on the Harley Quinn, so it looks like that one Raz picked might be the winner so far. Actually, her hair has a yellow glow around it, so should we do like black with a little bit of a yellow pearl in there, or green? Didn't even realize it was yellow. Now I'm not doing a perfect masking because I did a little bit of that line work, and since it's black hair, it should kind of blend fine. If it was like blonde on here, it would be a different story. I'm gonna have to touch up around the hand afterwards because of the way it's spoke the hair. Alright, so for the hand and the hair over it, I'm just gonna slap these around here, and then I'll hit it with a paintbrush later. As long as most of the green is covered, I should be alright. Alright, that'll work. So I think I'm not gonna risk doing the boot now. We'll just do the hair. So remember, never try to squeeze this around super tight to kill your paint. Just enough that you don't get any overspray. You're better off pushing it into the A's than to squeeze it around like you're trying to kill it. And to be on the safe side, just go on the other end. Just to double check. And that is good enough for sealing that up. Alright, so like I said, the hair has a yellow tint, so let's get the black on this. And then see if yellow or green would work better. Ah, you didn't see what I did with the metal rod for the base? Alright, what should I do? Either yellow tint or probably green. I think the yellow might look weird on the black. Not sure. Raccoon, are you still here? Or did you go away? I mean, you might have to see what I did with the video, but I made a different rod for the base. Yeah, so you could. There's 4 rods here. There's a hollow rod here, a hollow here, and then one long big piece in here. So I just glued these together while you were away. So that's gonna go between there, and then I hollowed this up very slowly. So this goes over that rod, like so. And then I dremeled a hole into this piece because there's 2 separate pieces here. And then I'm going to set up the base like this, because I don't trust what was this piece that had that resin, like feels like it would snap on you, because they didn't fill up the whole bottom. It's all hollow under here. So I'm going to probably build her and paint her at the same time, and then when I get her semi together, I'm going to put this leg onto here with the shoes. And then what I'll do is I'll be able to line it up correctly. I think it's this one. Yeah. So I'll be able to line it up correctly, make it straight, without worrying about this piece breaking. So my base is going to look like that, sort of. Not like that, but... Hold on. Yeah. So it'll be like that, you know. So this way I don't have to worry about this piece ever breaking. This will be nice and sturdy. It's just a matter of lining everything up correctly. I tried to put a hollow brass rod over this, but then it doesn't look like this piece could go up and down. You know. So if you get yourself K&S rods, get yourself one of these sliced pieces, you know, where you kind of twist it around. The only problem is when you twist it, you get a little bit of a curved piece in there. So you want to like slice that off and sand it down so you can get the pieces to slide in and out, you know. That's a good idea. I think that would look good with yours, Raccoon. You should definitely do that. Like I said, I'm going with Harley Quinn ideas, you know, like Harley Quinn colors. So I was thinking of just getting a round base for her and setting it up. I didn't really think about going crazy with like the base. My main concern was this, and then I also did take out the horns off of the head. I don't like the horns, so I took those off. What is it? This piece goes here and here. Yeah, forgot which piece had the horns. Oh, it was this piece here. Yeah, so I took the horns off. I didn't want those on. It comes with two heads too, so I'm going to use the head that has no eyes sculpted, because I'm waiting for the anime eyes to come in, and I'm just going to use anime, because this one didn't come with anime eyes. You can do fish nets on it. You are able to, because of the way the piece goes on here. I've never done fish nets, but you have the ability to do it because the boots and legs are separate. So if you, so the way to do fish nets, from what I saw, is you put them around it and you sew it in the back, and then you just glue the foot in and you can lock it in place. And you know the funny thing is, since yours is a punk rocker you said you're doing, if you rip the fish nets, that actually makes it even better. So if you should do it, that actually would look pretty good. You know what you should do though? Instead of doing two legs, just do one leg. Alright, so since we did the black and her hair has a yellow tint, I think yellow on the hair would look weird. So I'm going to spray just a mist of pearlized green on her hair. Wait, do I have interference green? Yes, I do have interference green. Let's do that instead. So I got some golden interference green, so I'll wash this down and give a little bit of a misting of this. See, that looks like a good color for like one of the Marvel characters that have green hair. Almost like She-Hulk. But not as much, so it's a little bit too much on there. Tone it down a bit. Let's see what color. Where'd it go? This is. There it is. So this is just some shading gray, just to tone it down a little bit. Gonna hit it with some Tester's dull coat, just kind of strengthen it up a little bit. So I think I'm gonna flatten it a little bit with some of the matte varnish, because I think satin would be fight with the outfit, because I put satin on the outfit. Hey, what's up, Hulk Smash? Alright, so where's my matte? This is the matte? Yeah, we're gonna matte varnish it down. Alright, so doing that, it's kind of greenish hair. Maybe I should add a little bit of pearl into it, some yellow. This might be too greenish now. Actually, that's working a little bit better now. Show you guys on the other camera. Maybe I hit it with a little bit darker areas. What do you guys think? I think I gotta take out some of the green, just kind of darken up some areas. So you guys think I should go more and more black on it? I want to have a little bit of a tint in there. I'm trying to blend it more now. Alright, if I keep doing it what I'm doing, it's staying dark, but it's got a little bit of life to it. I don't want to go jet black on it, though. I think jet black would just look boring. I think it's starting to come together a little bit more. Let me just kind of hit these darker areas. Alright, let me show you guys on the other camera. Let me just think of it now. Alright, so tone down a little bit more. See what happens when I turn the light on. So it's got some greens and yellows, but it's still more black. The light might be picking up the pearls a little bit more. Okay, so I think there's two spots. I want to hit a little spot here, and I think a little spot there. And I think that'll be where we want it. This way it's not pure black, but it's not pure green. It's got kind of like a greenish, yellowish black tint to it. Alright, do one more flat coat on there. Hey, how's it going, Mr. Sinister? Hopefully I said that right. But we, I think we're looking good. Let's pull this off. I think this should pull it together. Yeah, now that I did the hair, I'll have to do this boot during the week. It's just gonna be black. Pretty much we'll pull it, you know, I'll finish it up and that'll be done. Unless I don't get a chance to finish the base, I could do it next week as well. But I'll do some touch-ups when I get a chance. Sorry if the camera is a little bit bluish today. I set it up for my photo setup and I forgot to write down the settings, so I don't want to change it until I get it marked down. Yeah, sorry about the camera work today. I gotta write this stuff down. Maybe put the light on, maybe that'll look a little better. You can make anybody with this kit, really. I mean, it's a blank kit, you know? So I got some touch-ups to do. I gotta add eye decals. Gotta finish up the belt and the boots and the base. So, depending on how the week goes, if I don't finish it, I'll work on it next week. It all depends on how things. A little bit of a mark here I gotta touch up. But pretty much most of it's done. And I know, like I said, I'm sorry about the color of the camera today. It's set up for the other setup, so. I want to work on this kit. So we're going to put her aside. Put this stuff there. So I forgot to fill up these two holes, but I'll do that now. So what I want to do is I want to roll out, like I think I'll, probably should do magic sculpt. But first, I'm going to put a little bit of a rod in her leg to kind of stop it where I need to stop it. It'll look like this. So let me get a rod. Oops. Okay, so let's see if this piece works. Too long. Let's cut this down a bit. The reason why I'm putting two little pegs in here is because this way it'll help me line this up when I'm ready to put it down. So that looks pretty decent. Now it's got to chop a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Should be about where I need to do with it. Okay. Now I know these two pegs are not made to like hold her up, but once this leg is casted up in the clear resin here, this is gonna lock into place no problem. So I'm not worried about the, you know, this piece here. This is just for when I'm gonna roll out some magic sculpt. I'm gonna wrap this around here. Because my magic sculpt is actually getting bad. So it might be hard to see in the picture, but there's yellowish stuff starting to kind of form around the edge of the screen part. And when that yellowish starts happening on this screen, it starts to get old and crusty. So if you look at my A's, you see how it's sort of nice and fresh. It's still soft. This stuff is kind of like really tough. So it's kind of a difference between the two. So I can squeeze this with my hand with no problem. So this is really fresh and still good. I know it's epoxy versus a magic sculpt, but it's kind of the same thing. So I think what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to paint her in a black outfit with red stripes. So I think I'm going to do black and red, or I might do black and gray. But then I saw one outfit which was blue and gray, so maybe I'll do blue. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I got to look at some pictures. At this point, I don't care if I mix up too much of this and I waste it, because it's just going bad. Especially with the price increases, I'm not even sure if I'm going to order Magic Sculpt again. Seems to not really have a good shelf life. I think I'm better off just keep using Aves. It's almost the same price now, I think, for each container. So now I'm just using water to mix the Magic Sculpt. I haven't had a problem with water and Magic Sculpt, but as you can see, I'm having a tough time mixing this stuff because it's so... And I only bought it like, I think I got this container 5 months ago, maybe beginning of the summer. So it doesn't really stay fresh, I guess. Just drop a piece in here. Hey Cam, thanks, I appreciate it. You gotta just get the feel for the Aves to make like a belt. So like I'm doing with this right now, this is Magic Sculpt. So usually you roll it out, throw it on some wax paper with some baby powder, roll it, cut your strap. Let it cure for like an hour. Make it a little bit tough. Like this Magic Sculpt, like if Aves is kind of like at this level where it's kind of sinking slow, you could kind of do it. You gotta get, it's kind of hard. You gotta get a feel for it. So you roll up some Aves, cut your pieces, or let it sit for a while. Let it sit for like at least a half hour. Cut your pieces. But use one piece and see if that works. If that's too soft and it's crunching up on you or whatever, let it sit for another 20 minutes. Try another piece. But the problem is when you get to that point where it's like really, really tough, you won't be able to mix it back together. So sometimes what I'll do, say if I gotta maybe make a skirt and I don't have Magic Sculpt, I did it with Aves. I would roll out my Aves. And then, like, say I did it at 1 o'clock, I'd go out and do some other stuff, come back at probably like in 45 minutes, try it with 45 minutes, and then if it's still too soft, roll it back up, roll it out again, and then come back like in an hour or 10 minutes. Keep going until you find when you think that sweet spot is where it is. Magic Sculpt is sort of the same stuff as Aves, but with Magic Sculpt you can't use like safety solvent or anything, so it doesn't, like, I don't really use Magic Sculpt like I used to. And I think, like I just said before, this is probably going to be the last time I buy Magic Sculpt. Unless I have a big repair project. This stuff doesn't last as long as Aves, meaning its shelf life. I would just get used to Aves. I mean, you could try Magic Sculpt, you might like it, but honestly, I think Aves is the way to go. I mean, if you wait a second, I'm gonna roll this out, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. This will probably help you actually. So just give me a second here. I just want to fill up this whole area just before I roll this on top. I'm glad you appreciate it. I personally think I'm not the best at explaining stuff, but it's what I come up with. Alright, so I'm going to roll this out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out and come back with the pieces and give you an idea. So basically, say your belt is like this thick. So I'm going to go roll this in the garage because I don't like my baby powder in the house too much. Because I can't breathe that stuff in all the time. So I'll show you when I come back. Just give me 1 second. Alright, so I went in the garage and I cut my pieces. So, say you wanted to do a belt on her and you figure this is kind of your belt size. What you could do is roll out the Aves and slice like 3 of them. Get 3 of them going. And then like after 45 minutes take this one and see how this one wraps around her. You know, like if you're doing, like I know this is thick, but you know, if you wanted to, you know, make a sash or something, right? So say you make the sash and it starts to sag down and it starts to kind of warp on you. You just wait another 20 minutes, half hour, and then you grab the piece that you cut here and you try that one. And then if you wrap that one around it and you like the way it's staying, then you leave it alone. But if it's still too soft, you could kind of come back another hour, 20, or like, you know, an hour and a half and try that one. So sometimes you got to kind of like cut them and let them sit for a bit. And that might help. Because by the time like an hour and a half goes by, to try to take these 2 pieces and mix this stuff back up together, it might not work. But this is still soft, so you can kind of get away with putting this back together. So hopefully that kind of helps. It's all about getting used to it, getting, you know, like, okay, this, I know I got 20 minutes before I gotta set it up. Feel your Aves too. You know, if you're rolling out Aves and you're cutting and nothing working, have a little extra by your side, so you get used to like, okay, it's starting to firm up, so now I can actually use this piece. I try and do that myself a lot too, so. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking this piece, and you know how pools have this little part around it? And I need a new plate. Yeah, no problem, Cam. Good luck with it. Hopefully it works out. So I'm not worried about the edges looking weird. Just want to make sure, you know, even this back part, I don't care about how this looks. It's all going to be flattened out. So let's make sure we got a spot for her. So put this here. Okay. That looks good. Alright, so let's grab our ruler. And let's get a good tool that's not dirty to all hell. There we go. Clean this one off real quick. I'm gonna do one of those, not tile designs. You know those pools that got the blue and white, like design, like almost like a sponge effect. You know, like pool liners. It's like a pool liner. Now I know how some pools have like the tiles going across here, but my cousin's pool that I used to go to, she didn't have the tiles. She had a liner going up to the concrete area. And I like the way that looked. So I'm just gonna do like all of this like blue and yellow, not yellow, blue and white, like a texture. But I'm gonna create the tile like pieces up here. So let me kind of set this up. So if we take a ruler, right? So we'll go here. So what we'll do is grab this. One here, one here, here, and here. So the idea is, you ever see these tiles sort of go like this? Alright, so I know it's messy, let's clean it up. Let's grab this piece. So the concrete usually at the edge is kind of always a little rough. At least that's the way the pool that I used to go to had, you know? It's probably like the old school way of two pools. My town pool used to have this. They did have the white blocks here, but they had like it was just like a painted pool going down. They didn't have liners, so those pools used to crack all the time. I was looking online for pictures of pools, and all the new designs are absolutely amazing. So what? Since then, you gotta get your ass back in the pool. What are you doing? I miss going into the pools. My cousin used to have it all the time, but that's a whole nother story. I should go to the beach. I'm only like 15 minutes, well, I'm 15 minutes away from the beach, but with traffic, it's like 3 hours. So that's kind of really what I'm doing. This is kind of like it. I'm not really overthinking this one. I just want to focus more on her and use that clear resin. Yeah, that will work. This is going to get shaved down again. Because when I'm ready to pour the resin, what I'll do is I'll put a drop of glue in there, a drop of glue, have her hold, build the wall, and then pour in the resin and hope for the best. Now I know her foot squished this down a little bit, but might as well just do that. Now, I would cut this, but if I cut this, because it's so soft, it's going to warp it. So I'm going to leave this alone. And then my spin wheel, what I'll do is I'll just put it up against the spin wheel when it's cured, and it'll just cut it all up. And I won't even have to worry. Simple, stupid little base, and I think it'll be fine. So now that I got a chunk of Magic Sculpt that I don't want to waste,
Still got the rogue statue.
So I've been working on her arms. Been working on the jacket and stuff. And we got this chunk, so we'll just throw this over here. So this way, that is not going anywhere. And as always, when you're going to add freeform air, you gotta kind of score it up. So the freeform kind of bonds into these areas. Yeah, I want it to be simple. You know, I want to experiment with the clear resin too. You know, I want to be able to see if it does fill up this whole area and not, like, you know, ruin it. So stuff like this is fun to experiment with. So this way down the line, when I get to like a really good item, I'll know exactly what that clear resin can and can't do. Yeah, Raccoon, I'm going to do the freeform clouds on it again, like I did with the last custom that went to hell. So there's fishing lead weights in here, and then this is all extra magic sculpt and all this other crap that I've been using on here. So the rod that's in here is secured now, so this will never bend forward. So one day I gotta do all the freeform air stuff on it. I just wanted to keep working on her first. I wanted to get all this done. So, you know, I worked on the jacket, I gotta sand it down, I gotta clean it up, I gotta add her headband over here. And then once she's all done and clean and ready to go, I'll do the base. I don't know what happened with the stolen Rogue. The guy who bought it, I don't know if he ever returned it to the guy that sold it. I don't know if he got his money back. I don't know what happened. All I know is he never contacted me ever again. So now we're doing this. But at least the guy I'm doing it for is patient. He's pissed, but he's patient. He's pissed that he lost it, not that anything I did. But I think that's going to work out pretty well with that. So let's put this aside so I don't break this. So I'm going to show you what I did with Hyperion. I'm almost ready to start painting. I didn't forget about Hyperion, so... Okay. The other day, I was working, and I had to go do something, and I completely forgot I rolled out Aves. So when I came back, the Aves was starting to toughen up to the point where I couldn't use it for my project. So what I did is I rolled out the Aves a little bit thinner, and I added rips on Hyperion. So I have to do a lot of sanding and priming now. So this is all going to be like a ripped up outfit. The armor is going to be very dirty. And I did his cape up too. So I got to do some more work to the cape. So I sewed up the cape and I ripped it in the back because I really wanted him to be like a battle damaged Hyperion. So the way this is going to work is we need a tool, which this one will work. Alright, so the way this works is take this piece, so what I'll do is at the very end of the project I'll put some glue in here and I'll squeeze that in there so this cape gets locked into there. And then what happens with this piece is this is going to go in there. I got to Dremel out the hole a little bit more. And then what did I do with his so this piece is going to lock this in place. I have to Dremel out some more, but what I'll do is I'm gonna try to glue the cape in a way where this kind of flips over, like so. And then his cape over here, as you can see, it's all matted. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in the garage and I'm gonna grab like the sand wheel and I'm gonna like rip this up some more with the sand wheel and really tear it up. Shit over. So he's getting there. You can see what I'm doing. You know, really tearing it up. I really want to make him look a little older. Just this part up here was giving me trouble because I had to sew it. So I had to cut it and sew it, and then what it did is it made it too thick. So I don't want to break this piece. I got to Dremel this backwards a little bit in there. So this way this piece locks that in the leg a little bit better in there. So the idea is I'm going to flip it around like so, right? And then I'm going to glue it in. So this way, once it's glued in with this rod, this cape stays over here. Because if I let it down here, it'll keep falling over his shoulder. So if I glue it that way, it looks a little bit better, and then you can kind of see it looks a little bit better this way too. So that's kind of what I came up with for the cape for now. And I like it. I think it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them on stream too once I get them cleaned up. Tomorrow is usually my personal day. So maybe if I can, I'll get in the garage and I'll do some sand work on all this. Clean up some of these edges, prime them up. Get all these rips cleaned up. Fix up the boots a little bit. And then Dremel this part out here. Rip up the cape some more, and then I can start painting them. There was a miscommunication with the seamstress. I didn't want this doubled. I didn't want it a doubled cape, but I think it works fine. I think once I tear it up a little bit more, it should work. So I speckled paint on here. I had a batch of paint I was working on. I didn't want to waste it. So I was speckling paint on his cape, and I hit it with some X-Acto glaze in areas. So he's getting there. I didn't forget about him. Yeah, that's the goal. I want him to be really just older and just looks like he's been through the ringer. So I think when we paint him up, I'm going to try to look at some old people skin. I got to try to see if I can give him like a little bit of an older looking skin and really see if that'll work. But yeah, so I think that's where I'm at for now. I'm gonna next Friday, if we don't get any more votes by next weekend, I think we're gonna finalize the Harley Quinn. So who's ever in the lead, we're gonna use that. So hopefully by Labor Day weekend, after Labor Day weekend, I think we're gonna start Harley Quinn. I think that's the goal. Labor Day weekend, I'm probably not gonna stream too because I'm gonna just take off that weekend. Take a break. But I think after Labor Day we're gonna start focusing on Harley, and I'm going to be working on him as well, hopefully by then. So I could do some sculpting of Harley on the stream and also do some painting on this dude. But, alright, I'm going to call it for tonight. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If I don't work on her during the week, we'll finish her up next week. Or if I finish her up during the week, I'll show you guys what I did. One way or the other. Yeah, I hope we figure out who wins too. So, either way, it should be a fun Harley Quinn. Alright guys, have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. I am